Closed captioning provided by Oric 8-pound upright vacuum.
Looking for a lightweight vacuum that'll pick sand up off a bare floor? Try my Oric XL free for 30 days.
CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Larry King Live. Whew. Don't get much better than that. NewsNight with Aaron Brown is next, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Good night.
Good evening again. I'm Carol Lynn. Safe to say nobody had to dig for a lead tonight. Also safe to say only about 5 people saw it coming. As surprises go, a president turning up at a turkey dinner in the middle of a war zone ranks right up there. Talk about shock and awe. So the day and the hour is dominated by President Bush's sudden and risky journey. His visit to the troops in Baghdad is one for the history books. It leads the program tonight, and naturally, the whip. First to Dana Bash in Crawford, Texas, where she and the rest of the press corps was told the president was spending Thanksgiving there. Dana, a headline.
Well, Carol, almost no one knew. The president's parents weren't told until they arrived here in Crawford for the holiday this morning. His twin daughters were told just hours before. The press traveling with him were forbidden from calling anyone until the president left Baghdad. As one of the locals just said to me, down here they call what happened to us today getting hoodwinked. Carol?
Thank you, Dana. Next to Baghdad and CNN's Walt Rogers. Walt, the headline there.
Carol, the headline here is the best kept secret in Iraq remains the whereabouts of Saddam Hussein. But President Bush's visit here was a close second. He was gone before most people ever knew he arrived.
Walt Rogers in Baghdad will try to fix that problem there. Finally, to Washington, where the political dimension of today's trip is likely to be topic A in the days ahead. CNN senior White House correspondent John King is on that for us. John, a headline from you.
Carol, this commander-in-chief is also a candidate for re-election, so the dramatic trip today and these dramatic pictures already added to the debate over his policy in Iraq. The president says his mission must succeed. The Democrats say, nice pictures, Mr. President, but the policy has gone bad. Carol.
Thanks, John. Back to you and the rest shortly. Also ahead tonight, we are going to talk with a reporter from Time magazine who was in the room as the president visited with the troops. Later, we'll put the trip into perspective. Just how rare is it for a president to slip off to a foreign country without anyone knowing about it? And in segment 7, we'll continue our series of reports on America's war wounded. Beth Nissen has the story of the new generation of medics trained to save even more lives. All that and more in the hour ahead. We begin with a rule every child knows by heart. Before leaving the house, always tell your parents where you're going. Something President Bush neglected to do. Something his father would understand. Presidents don't have to eat their broccoli, and they don't have to say where they're going either, even when it's Iraq. Here's CNN's Dana Bash.
It may as well have been dubbed Operation Thanksgiving Surprise.
I wonder, let's see if we got anybody more senior here who can read the president's Thanksgiving speech. Is there anybody back there who's more senior than us?
From behind the curtain, the commander-in-chief himself telling 600 shocked U.S. troops,
thanks for inviting me to dinner.
President Bush's 2-hour and 32-minute visit to Baghdad, the first ever for a U.S. president, a tightly held secret even for a White House known for keeping a lid on information. Only a handful of senior staff and Secret Service officials knew. Shortly after a spokeswoman announced Wednesday Mr. Bush would have a quiet holiday at the ranch, approximately 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the president, hiding under a baseball cap, slipped out of Crawford in an unmarked car, then was flown to Andrews Air Force Base. At about 11 p.m. Eastern Time, the president left on a 13-hour journey to Baghdad. Reporters on the plane were warned for security reasons. If word leaked out, the plane would be turned around. At 5:30 p.m. Baghdad time, Air Force One, using a secret call sign, lands without lights, with Mr. Bush in the cockpit. The president's message, one of thanks, but also one of resolve.
We did not charge hundreds of miles into the heart of Iraq, pay a bitter cost of casualties, defeat a ruthless dictator, and liberate 25 million people only to retreat before a band of thugs and assassins.
At a mess hall named for Bob Hope, he doled out sweet potatoes, smiled for the cameras, and shook hands with elated servicemen, telling reporters afterwards their reaction made the risk and secrecy worthwhile. The president's audience was not just U.S. troops, it was also the Iraqi people.
You have an opportunity to seize the moment and rebuild your great country based on human dignity and freedom.
This may have been a stealth mission, but it was far from spur of the moment. The president telling reporters it's been in the works since mid-October. And for those who may call this secrecy a PR stunt, the president insisted that it was important to keep under wraps for his safety and for the safety of others who are traveling with him. Carol?
Dana, you talk about the planning. How involved was the president in the planning of this surprise?
Well, he talked to reporters on his way back, which of course he still is on his way back, and he said that he had a number of extensive meetings with top officials, even yesterday, talking by secure video conference with the vice president, his chief of staff, and the national security advisor, making sure everybody knew what the details were. And he said that even at the last minute, he was prepared to turn this baby around. That's what he just told reporters. And there was one close call, Carol. A British Airways pilot actually spotted Air Force One in the air and radioed to the plane saying, "Is that Air Force One?" And the president's captain responded back, "No, it's a Gulfstream." And there was apparently a large pause, and then the British Airways pilot responded back, clearly that pilot understood that there was a secret, and he apparently did keep it.
Imagine
Carol.
what was going through his mind. Thanks so much, Dana Bash, live at Crawford. Well, now, more on the reaction among the troops. Said one sergeant who posed for a picture with the president, "We were expecting Nicolas Cage or Shania Twain." Here's CNN's Walter Rogers.
I wonder, let's see if we got anybody more senior here who can read the president's Thanksgiving speech. Is there anybody back there who's more senior than us?
The president's visit to Baghdad was the second best kept secret in Iraq, the first still being, "Where is Saddam Hussein?" Thanksgiving with the troops is, however, a time-honored U.S. presidential tradition.
I was just looking for a warm meal somewhere.
Homesick soldiers, eager to see a friendly face from home, greeted their commander-in-chief with explosive euphoria. Mr. Bush told them why they will still be here for some time to come.
You're defeating Saddam's henchmen so that the people of Iraq can live in peace and freedom.
He had a message for the Iraqi people as well.
We'll help you find and bring to justice the people who terrorized you for years and who are still killing innocent Iraqis. We will stay until the job is done.
At times, the occasion brought tears to the president's eyes, and in accordance with Army convention, when senior officers serve Thanksgiving dinner to the troops, the commander-in-chief also helped serve chow. Privately, however, some troops are beginning to grumble, one telling me he doubts U.S. forces should have stayed as long as they have, another adding it is more dangerous now than when we arrived months ago, and a third soldier saying, "All I want to do is get out of here alive." Still, the fact the president shared the danger of a war zone won him universal praise from troops.
Just surprising and wonderful for us.
He's our commander-in-chief. He's great. And it was great to see him, great to have him out here. And it really tells us that he's our commander and he cares.
As stunning as the president's visit was, it may not be without political calculation. The president's show of solidarity with the troops on America's most important holiday is going to provide him with some splendid images when he runs for re-election next year. Carol?
Walter, what do you think? Is it going to change anything on the ground?
Absolutely not. You have the American forces here are facing a guerrilla insurgency, which becomes increasingly violent. Indeed, people here, U.S. officials here, are predicting more violence and more terror, especially against Iraqi civilians in the coming months. That is not going to change in the fractiousness of the makeup of Iraqi society, the Shiite Muslims quarreling with the Sunni Muslims, battling for power, the Kurds trying to get their oar in that same water. Nothing's going to change here on the ground. Indeed, things could well get worse. Carol?
All right, Walt Rogers live in Baghdad. Walt was just touching on some of the politics out there. The president's mission sends a number of messages to the troops, to ordinary Iraqis, to the bad guys, and as Walt just mentioned, here at home. With that side of the story, here's CNN's John King.
A Kodak moment in any event, all the more so because of the element of surprise.
I'm proud to be your commander-in-chief. I bring greetings from America. May God bless you all. And may God...
In this case, the commander-in-chief is also a candidate for re-election. So while the White House calls this a Thanksgiving tribute to those on the front line, some Democrats privately call it a stunt. Designed, they say, to push this made-for-TV moment a bit back in the memory. The mission accomplished event was nearly 7 months ago now. The escalating attacks and rising death toll of recent weeks a painful reminder the mission is anything but over.
Obviously, the biggest weakness for the president in the upcoming campaign is Iraq, and it's weak for one reason. It's an unpredictable circumstance.
And one visit to Baghdad, for all the attention it gets, won't answer the big political questions.
This can be, or seems to be, a kind of quagmire. Can we bear the cost financially? More importantly, in terms of loss of lives? It's a story that will unfold now.
For all the problems in post-war Iraq, some Republicans believe that scenes like this play to a key Bush campaign strength.
The Democrat Party and its candidates have zero credibility as a party that people trust to have the capacity to kind of stand up to international terrorism.
Yet for all the cheers from the troops in Baghdad or here at a base back home, there are some who worry Mr. Bush is too defined by images of war.
They have to, play to that strength and repeat that strength and remind people of his qualities of strong leadership. I just think that at some point he has to also get back to people understanding that he's also a regular guy, like you and me. I want somebody, that is, we used to say, somebody you want to sit down and have a beer with.
The president's aides say the secret visit to Baghdad was to say thank you, period. But everything this president does for the next 11 months also has an element of politics. And everything said now about the images and meaning of this dramatic visit, far less relevant than how the politics of the Iraq debate look 6 or 10 months from now. And publicly, Carol, all the Democrats could do today was tip their hat and say it was right for the president to go to Baghdad to say thank you to the troops. One Democrat, John Kerry, running for the president's job, obviously said the president was right to do this on Thanksgiving, but he added this: when Thanksgiving is over, I hope the president will take the time to correct his failed policy. Look for that to echo, Carol, in the days ahead.
All right, well, speaking of the upcoming campaign, John, how much positive sticking power do you think these images and this day has for the president going into 2004?
Well, there is no one who can argue with the President of the United States going to say thank you to the men and women of the military, especially in Iraq. So there is no political risk in that. There are some who say, what if there are a series of attacks over the next several days? Would the terrorists, those attacking coalition forces, take this as sort of in your face, if you will? Remember a few months back, the President was asked about the attacks on the troops, and he said, bring them on. Some military family members have since complained. Those who are under attack or those who have lost loved ones have said the president was being a bit too macho there. Some will say if there are a series of attacks in the days to come that the president might have provoked the terrorists. The White House will say these men and women are in harm's way, risking their lives every day, and this is what a president is supposed to do.
John King, thank you very much. 184 U.S. troops have died since May 1st when he declared major combat over on that aircraft carrier. Well, earlier today, General Ricardo Sanchez was asked what it took to pull off a presidential visit in the middle of a war zone. It's a whole lot easier, he said, with the military at the center of it. You say what needs to be done, and people get the job done. He was probably being just a little modest. Joining us in Tucson to talk a little bit more about what it took and what it all means is CNN military analyst, retired General Don Shepard. Good to see you again, Don.
Hello, Carol.
How risky was this mission?
From the standpoint of physical risk, not real risky. The airplane, Air Force One, went in at night, which basically is a great defense against shoulder-fired heat-seeking missiles. It's also equipped with the latest equipment to decoy heat-seeking missiles. A danger would come once the airplane is on the ground, once the president's there, of rockets and mortars, which happen periodically. But he stayed near Baghdad Airport in the palace headquarters of the Joint Task Force. So there wasn't much physical danger. The real danger, Carol, was in the policy and what could have gone wrong if the airplane had to turn around or came under attack. That would have been a very positive message for the Baathists that wish us evil.
Don, you're a pilot. I mean, take us through the mechanics of what it took to fly in to the airport itself. There were actually special maneuvers that Air Force One had to take.
Well, first of all, the pilots were probably as surprised as anyone else. They didn't get a lot of notice on this, but they're good at rapid planning. They basically probably refueled several times en route to get there. Once they got to Baghdad, their arrival had to be timed properly. Now, in a smaller airplane, you circle in over the airport. It was just there about a month and a half ago in a C-130, and we circled down over the airport. You couldn't do quite the same thing in a 747 like Air Force One. But basically, you would stay as close to the airport as possible. You would do lights out, including all of the windows closed in the airplane. The crew would likely be on night vision goggles with night vision cockpits. We'd regularly do light out landings, if you will. It's something the military practices. So there's not a lot of danger in this, but there are a lot of steps and a lot of training and a lot of professional people involved in the air and on the ground, Carol.
But if there are heat-seeking missiles being fired at aircraft, I mean, what difference does it make whether your lights are out or whether you fly in at night or not?
It makes a lot of difference because these heat-seeking missiles, you have to see the airplane coming, then you have to point the missile at the airplane, you have to hear a tone to indicate it's locked on, and then fire the missile. So at night, when you don't know where to point it, it's like looking through a soda straw in the heavens trying to find an airplane. Even though you might even be able to hear it, trying to actually point the missile at it and get it to lock on and fire is a different problem. In addition, you're going to have decoying mechanisms on the airplane, the latest available, Carol. So there likely was very little danger from these heat-seeking missiles.
Don, quickly, just from forget the technological point of view, but just from an intelligence point of view, how difficult was this to pull off?
Not difficult at all, because the military is there in place with great security around all the places he was going to go in. The difficulty was the security arrangements and making sure that the word did not get out, because it's the communications are encrypted. That's not a problem, but word of mouth from all of the people that had to be finally involved in the final arrangements is the greatest danger. America can still keep a secret, as we can see, Carol.
All right, thank you very much, Lieutenant General Don Shepard, for joining us tonight, our military analyst. Ahead on Newsnight, more on the president's surprise visit. We're going to talk with a journalist who was in the room as the president showed up and get her impressions of the event. And later, the newest generation of military medics. They are known as 91 Whiskies, and we'll see how they're trained. This is Newsnight from New York.
Newsnight with Aaron Brown is brought to you by Fidelity Investments. Stop by your local Fidelity Investor Center today.
So, what you got for me? Please, that thing's a... Yeah, where are you getting your numbers from? The sports section? But if it goes the other way, I'm going to dump it. Gotta go. Lily, I'm all done for the day. Can you come in here for a minute? Hi, Lily Bean.
Institutional strength trading, now available on your desktop. For as little as $8 per trade, Fidelity Active Trader Services delivers power, price, service, no compromises.
When the stakes are high, the great ones answer the call. Through the unforgiving wasteland of company data and emerged with numbers that were once untouchable. You have the new Microsoft Office system. It's showtime.
CNN Tomorrow, an hour with Tom Cruise.
Penelope and I have no future plans for marriage. I love her.
Only on Larry King Live, CNN Tomorrow, 9 Eastern.
I really wanted to switch to singular rollover so I could keep my minutes and not get slammed with overages. But I didn't want to lose my number. It's famous. Finally, I can keep my minutes and my number.
Only Singular with rollover lets you keep your phone number and your unused rollover minutes.
I call it my
Keep your number, keep your minutes. Another reason Singular fits you best. Sign up now and get 500 bonus rollover minutes.
This year, get everything on your wish list. Announcing the Lincoln Mercury Wish List year-end event with savings on every Lincoln and Mercury, including Lincoln Navigator, the mid-size Lincoln Aviator, and Mercury Mountaineer. Get $2,000 cash back plus a no-charge DVD system up to a $3,500 total value on select Lincoln and Mercury SUVs. And see the all-new Mercury Monterey during the Wish List year-end event. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
CNN, the most trusted name in news.
More now on the president's journey and the buzz when he got there. Time Magazine's Vivian Walt was on the ground when he made his appearance, and she joins us now from Baghdad. Vivian, good morning to you over there. I know it's early there for you. I'm just wondering, you were actually in the room when the president appeared before the troops. What was that moment like?
I can only describe it as kind of explosive. I mean, usually we have explosions here of a different kind, but this one was just quite wild. I would say nobody in the room really expected it. You could have, I guess, counted on perhaps two hands at most the people in the room that knew about it. I don't even think the coalition officials who were escorting us into the airport knew that the president was on his way. So the moment he arrived, there was a second of astonishment before the entire place just erupted in roars and quite a euphoric moment, actually.
What was going through your mind when you saw the President of the United States standing there?
It's one of those things, Carol, where, it's so surreal and so out of place, it takes you a millisecond to realize it is the President of the United States. When I did see him, I think one of my first thoughts is, oh my gosh, how risky it is to land at Baghdad Airport, a place that most of us regard as too dangerous to fly in or out of anymore. There he was, flying Air Force One right into the heart of Baghdad. However, the moment was really had such impact, I think, on everybody in the room. I don't think there was a single thing that he could have done that would have had that same kind of effect, Carol.
Well, he was actually crying. I mean, was the President of the United States standing in that room shedding tears?
Well, I wouldn't say shedding tears, but there was certainly one little tear that did roll down his cheeks. He seemed pretty overwhelmed. I think it must have been the mixture of several things, the tension of having to keep such a massive secret from the world, mixed, of course, with the risk of something that, disastrous could have gone wrong, and just being in a room of 600 adoring fans, all in military uniform, nonetheless, but certainly people who were just seemed thrilled to see him there.
Do you think this was personal for him, or do you think this was politics as usual, just well disguised?
I think it was a bit of both, Carol. I mean, firstly, this is really the closest thing he has had to a victory lap. I mean, he can really not in the least but declare victory yet, and it might be many, many months more before he can. But the fact that he's sort of landed in Baghdad at this time after the most violent month of the entire occupation, I think was in fact a kind of taste of victory. On the politics level, there's a lot of politics going on inside Iraq, which maybe might be a bit lost over there. The subtleties might seem a bit arcane from the US, but in Iraq there's really a quite fierce struggle for power going on that is really taking place these weeks, and the last couple of weeks, and particularly this weekend, has been quite fierce.
So, Vivian, then were the Iraqis impressed at all?
There were no Iraqis there, of course, except for 3 members of the coalition-run Iraqi Media Network, which is the local television station here that the US-led coalition runs. I think they sort of, when I spoke to them afterwards, I said, what do you think Iraqis will say about that? They said, we think that Iraqis will rarely see it as some kind of commitment, that they really are here to rebuild the country. A lot of people are fairly skeptical of that still.
All right, Vivian Walt, thank you very much. Time Magazine, and an exciting day for you. Thanksgiving Day. All right, coming up on Newsnight, the secrecy factor. Bruce Morton looks at the history of presidents going places in secret and what it gets them. On Thanksgiving, this is Newsnight.
This holiday season, those who have the most power toys win. Announcing the Lincoln Mercury Wish List year-end event with year-end savings on every Lincoln and Mercury, including Lincoln Navigator, Lincoln Aviator, Lincoln LS, and the award-winning Lincoln Town Car. Now save on Town Car with your choice of 0% APR or up to $4,500 cash back during the Wish List year-end event. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
The Braun Synchro cuts more efficiently because it's the first shaver with a 4-way moving head. And its automatic self-cleaning system leaves your shaver so clean it feels like new every day. Braun Synchro. We challenge you to find a better dry shaver.
68 years of photography experience. Canon PowerShot digital cameras, now with the Digit chip for beautiful photographs that happen to be digital. Digital revolutionized photography. We revolutionized digital.
What's the deal with the LG VX6000 camera phone? It's only $99.99. Want to see that deal again? At this price, it's never been easier or more affordable to snap, style, and share all those fun moments. And you can even add sound and text. This rocks! The coolest pictures, the coolest phone, at the coolest price. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Buonasera signore, benvenuti. Today we have some wonderful specials. First, a fresh enjoy hair pasta with a homemade tomato sauce. So sure to give you heartburn, you'll never forget.
It's different for people with acid reflux disease.
On top of that exquisite pain, acid gonna churn up your stomach and could grate away the lining of your esophagus just like it would a Parmesan cheese.
You should ask your doctor about the purple pill called Nexium.
You could be up all night.
For many people, with one prescription Nexium daily, heartburn goes away and stays away.
Tossing and turning.
And Nexium actually heals acid reflux erosions in the esophagus. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. Talk to your doctor. Nexium has a low occurrence of side effects, including headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Call this number for more information and a Nexium free trial offer. Don't let acid reflux eat at you.
How does that sound?
Relief, healing, Nexium.
The president's trip was so secret that his normal routine was scrapped practically from start to finish. An unmarked car, top aides wearing baseball caps, and no elaborate motorcade speeding through red lights. President Bush joked to a few reporters who were with him that it was the first time in 3 years he'd encountered traffic. CNN's Bruce Morton now on secret trips by other presidents and high-ranking officials of administrations gone by.
I was just looking for a warm meal somewhere.
Presidents have gone into danger before. Lyndon Johnson went to Vietnam during that war. President-elect Dwight Eisenhower went to Korea. Franklin Roosevelt had wartime meetings, some on Navy ships at sea with allies, but they never managed, as George W. Bush has, to visit a war zone in secret.
The White House has become a glass house and everything. There is a complete blend and blur of public and private life. So to pull off something like this Thanksgiving journey to Baghdad, it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of secrecy, and it just zipping your lips the best that you can.
Presidents can evade sometimes. John Kennedy faked a cold and canceled a campaign trip to head back to the White House and discuss the Cuban Missile Crisis. But usually it's aides who do the secret stuff. Henry Kissinger flew secretly to Beijing for negotiations, which led to Richard Nixon's much publicized trip later, a trip that changed relations between the two countries. In 1989, after the Chinese government opened fire on pro-democracy demonstrators in Tiananmen Square, world reaction was angry. So was the reaction from Washington. But the first President Bush sent Brent Scowcroft in secret to reassure Beijing's leaders that the U.S. still wanted good relations. He got criticized when the story finally got out, but he got his message through, too. Those secret visits had big effects. Bush's secret Thanksgiving drop-in will cheer up the troops. What else?
It got Michael Jackson off the news, and something that's very patriotic, a Norman Rockwell-esque moment here for America on this particular Thanksgiving. So in his biography, it'll make up a few very important pages, but it doesn't solve the problems of being entrenched in an angry Baghdad.
Only time will tell how that goes, but one bet, there'll be wall-to-wall reporters around the ranch come Christmas. to make sure they don't get fooled again. Bruce Morton, CNN, Washington.
And joining us now from New Orleans is a man you just heard from him briefly in Bruce Morton's story. Douglas Brinkley, a presidential historian and distinguished professor at the University of New Orleans. Doug, it's been a busy holiday. Thanks so much for leaving your family for us and joining us tonight. Why would a president risk doing something so risky and unexpected?
Because it's good for the country. It's good for the morale of our troops. It was the right thing to do, and that's the best politics when you do the right thing. You know, the White House is filled with secrecy. Every day we have top secret documents that nobody's going to be allowed to look at. But to actually move in the modern era and with any kind of shroud of secrecy around you is near impossible. So one has to appreciate the planning that this took, something that President Bush apparently kept just to himself and a very small group of people, not even sharing with his own wife, and always leaving the contingent to cancel at last minute if need be. I'm sure if there was any press report yesterday, for example, that this whole thing would have been scrapped. So everything worked just the way the White House wanted it to.
That's right. President Bush telling reporters if they were to make a call that definitely the plan would be off. But give us some perspective. I mean, we're talking about Thanksgiving, granted Thanksgiving dinner with troops halfway around the world, but in perspective, how does this really compare with, say, Lyndon Johnson's trip to Vietnam or Eisenhower's trip to Korea?
Well, this is much more dramatic. Eisenhower, like a drumbeat in the 1952 presidential campaign when he ran against Adlai Stevenson, kept saying, I will go to Korea and find a solution to the war, that I will physically go. Lyndon Johnson going in 1966 to Cam Bay was again meant to be a morale boost, but it didn't really have the kind of play. For one thing, there wasn't the 24-hour news cycle. You would get a headline for that day, couple days of television press on it, and that's it. Today, on Thanksgiving, when there's not a lot of other big news, this has been the dominant story, and it's been beaten into everybody's house. And it's hard for Republicans or Democrats, and anybody really, to complain about this. Of course, you know, success has a lot of friends. If this had gone sideways, if somehow Bush had been ambushed on his on the journey or something, a mishap happened, you'd have critics coming out of the woodwork. As it is now, I think most Americans will say, job well done.
Well, when you take a look at what he has done, I mean, I feel like every time I turn around, I see President Bush in a flight suit, you know, standing with the background of a bunch of troops. Given what's happening on the ground in Iraq, how much of a risk is he taking by actively linking his image to this war?
Well, that's a good question. Notice he didn't have the flight suit on today. It was a little more toned down with just a very modest army jacket on. You know, of course, he's caught a lot of flack from going on the USS Lincoln and having mission accomplished. It was seen as a bit of hot dogging on his part. So that was a political risk today. If somehow this didn't work and the flight had to be aborted and the mission canceled, it would have looked like perhaps a Bush hot dogging it again. I think this is going to help balance that image of the Lincoln, which I think most people feel was a political mistake to claim a victory in the war in Iraq when it should have been a time to kind of stiffen people's resolve for the difficult task of building a civil society there. This was the successful other side of the coin, if you'd like, to what happened when he went on Lincoln.
I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of this videotape in the campaign in 2004. Thank you very much, Brinkley, for joining us tonight. Well, before we go to break, an abbreviated Moneyline Roundup. Tomorrow kicks off the holiday retail season, and the National Retail Foundation expects a good one. Sales up 5.7% compared to last year. Now, that's on the bullish side. Wall Street anticipates a 4% sales growth this year. Markets are closed for the holiday. They're going to pick up where they left off yesterday, slightly on the upside for the day and the week so far. Still to come on NewsNight for this Thanksgiving. Morale booster, media event, or both? We're going to take a look at the after effects of the president's visit with Howard Kurtz of the Washington Post in a moment. This is NewsNight.
Moneyline Roundup is brought to you by Bank of America. Higher standards.
Being an architect of the street is understanding the neighborhood, looking at people, understanding what they do, and decide where the best place they could find an ATM would be. You have to immerse yourself into the street. Who's going to use the machine and how and when and where. Why are they going? Where are they going? Going to get a haircut, going to soccer practice. We understand the impact of a left turn, of a right turn, traffic signals, of sun glare. I look at the fancy cars and the not so fancy cars, the types of suits and shoes that people wear, and how does the Bank of America fit the needs of that neighborhood? My name is Jose Delgado. I'm a banker, and I'm proud to be part of Bank of America. We have around 14,000 ATMs across the country. If we don't place ATMs in the right positions, we'll have done a disservice to the customer, and the customer appreciates that. At the end of the day, we've done our job providing them that world-class service. Money at their fingertips. That's a beautiful thing. Bank of America. Higher standards.
What am I going to do for my children? How am I going to retire? I need someone to help me to make the right decision. I look to Prudential for advice. The options are put on the table, the pros and the cons are weighed. I had to start thinking of financial planning, estate planning, retirement.
Prudential Financial can help you grow and protect your wealth.
Knowing that the rock is behind us has given me that sense of security.
Okay, boys, take your positions. Roger that. Looks like we're taking the scenic route. Okay, back right, you've got some water. I'm on it. Front right, you've got ice. 2 o'clock. Got it. Okay, giant mud patch in 3, 2. Man, I love this job.
The new BMW X5 with xDrive, a revolutionary new all-wheel drive system that watches over you, shifting power where you need it, when you need it.
Smart Balance Buttery Spreads bring you the Smart Potato, Smart Pancakes, and Smart Veggies. Smart Balance is the smart way to eat, with no cholesterol, no hydrogenated oil, and no trans fatty acids, naturally. Plus, the right balance of fats to help improve the ratio of good to bad cholesterol. And don't forget Smart Balance sensational taste. Try delicious Smart Balance Buttery Spreads.
Accounts, the White House press corps is still steaming mad tonight. Mad that they didn't know about the president's trip to Iraq until after he had left Baghdad. To most Americans, that feeling of reporters being in the dark might be all well and good. But for our next guest, the secret trip to Iraq is much more than a well-executed surprise. Howard Kurtz is the media writer for The Washington Post and host of the CNN broadcast Reliable Sources. Howie, tell it like it is. How do you really feel about the president's trip?
Well, look, it's a great thing for the president to have gone to Baghdad, boosted the morale of the troops, and probably boosted his own political standing as well. But there is the small but inconvenient fact that the White House lied to the press. They put out a story saying the president would be spending Thanksgiving in Crawford with his family. They even put out the menu, free-range turkey if you're interested. And a lot of the journalists I've talked to today are upset that this kind of deception was engaged in not for military secrecy, although clearly there was a security aspect, but to set up this grand turkey photo op for the president.
But
other journalists, I should add, say they don't think it's a big deal.
Well, wait a second. I mean, don't you think this is sour grapes because those people weren't included on the plane?
I don't think it's sour grapes because some of the people I talked to are bureau chiefs and news executives who wouldn't be going on the trip themselves, and they feel that, you know, they take very seriously the notion that the White House ought not to mislead the press, and through the press, the public. Clearly, there's some people who are just angry because they got stranded in Crawford and missed the big story. But also, the White House, by doing this as a super secret operation, put a handful of journalists, those in the pool who did go on the trip, in the uncomfortable position of having to keep that secret. For example, Mike Allen of The Washington Post didn't tell any of his editors that he was going, and they were quite surprised to learn that he was in Baghdad.
Well, but at the same time, I mean, do you think the public really cares that a bunch of reporters are saying or crying foul because they were told the menu and turned out that the menu was taking place in Baghdad?
I don't think 98% of the public cares about the press and its predilections. I do think perhaps some people will care about the deception aspect. Most people, I am sure, will say that the White House was justified because of any possible security risk to the president in putting out what amounted to a cover story. But I must say, in terms of the media, the impact is not just on the reporters who got shortchanged, not just on the news executives who didn't know about it, but in terms of the coverage today, watching all 3 cable news networks, I would say it ranged from upbeat to gushing. Retired colonel on MSNBC, for example, saying this shows you can't underestimate George Bush. So by limiting it to that video, which everybody had to rerun again and again, there was no real live coverage because of the quick nature of the trip and the secretive nature of the trip. Boy, the White House got a really good ride on television today.
Well, if you had full access, Howard, I mean, what's the downside, really? I mean, what's the dark side of a trip like this? It was great for troop morale. It made pretty pictures. It made people feel good on an American holiday.
Well, you know, you might have some reporters doing stand-ups raising the question of whether this would have any lasting effect, whether people will forget about this after the glow wears off, if there are continued attacks against American soldiers in Iraq. In other words, dealing with the politics of this, not just the politics of the situation, but the continued dangerous situation for all the American servicemen and women who are working there.
What about the how the White House handled the press corps, which was actually allowed to fly on Air Force One? I mean, the fact that they were sworn to secrecy, that they had to give up their cell phones, that, you know, the president would look them in the eye and say no phone calls and made a cutting motion across his throat, threatening them if they should actually reveal any of the plans, and that the reporters went along with it.
Well, look, once they had bought into the idea that they were going to go on this secret trip, they didn't really have any choice, and they weren't about to get on their cell phones and call their moms and say that, guess what I'm doing on Thanksgiving. But at the same time, they did become, you know, the press was used to some degree because these were very pretty pictures, very uplifting story for a president who clearly has been struggling on this issue, as so much of the news out of Iraq has been depressing, has been difficult for the U.S. forces there. But, you know, you should keep in mind that the press routinely keeps secrets when it comes to military operations. We did it during the war in Iraq. We've done it during every military conflict. The question here is whether the level of deception was justified for what was the president serving turkey to the troops, as opposed to something where you know, there was actually a military operation underway. And that's something that's going to be debated pretty heavily, I would say, over the next few days.
Howard Kurtz, food for thought. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
President Bush's trip wasn't the only one. Senator Hillary Clinton turned up at Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, along with Jack Reed, her Democratic colleague from Rhode Island. After a turkey dinner with the troops, Senator Clinton said the American people are fully behind them. Back in her home state, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade came off without a hitch. Sunny skies, gentle winds, and despite a whole lot of extra security, no one had any trouble getting into the holiday spirit. Thanksgiving also means the flu season is in full swing, an especially rough one this year. 4 youngsters in Colorado have died of an aggressive strain of the disease, one that came on the scene too late to be included in this year's flu shot. That said, health officials still recommend getting vaccinated because the other strains aren't exactly a walk in the park either. Ahead on Newsnight, more on the shock and awe visit. We'll have more of the president's comments and the reaction of the soldiers to them. Stay with us.
Man, can you believe the money they throw at this thing?
Well, management likes to show the staff a good time.
Sure they do. We spent $1 million on cocktail shrimps at the party, so raises are off this year. That's why I get mine every chance I get.
How so?
Let's just say my expense accounts are an exercise in creative writing. Very creative writing.
I'm the company comptroller.
Oh, hey. Comptroller, what's that, like a computer checker? All right, bye. Thanks.
Help guard your inbox with automatic virus protection from MSN. Go to MSN.com. It's better with the butterfly.
One flat rate, right?
Yep.
LA, please. Hey, do you want to be friends? You seem a little tense. Do you mind if we stop and see the Grand Canyon? Woo! I can smell the ocean.
Flat rate pricing. Bad idea for taxis. Good idea for online trading. At Ameritrade, you pay a flat standard rate of $10.99 for all internet equity trades with no share limits and no order handling fees. Sign up now and trade commission-free for 5 weeks. Plus, get our 5-second guarantee. Go to Ameritrade.com/TV/ or call 1-800-AMERITRADE.
Todd? At Hotels.com, we really know our way around hotels. We visit thousands of hotels to find you the best prices at the best places. Hotels.com. Best prices, best places, guaranteed.
5 a.m. What's making news? What will be news? CNN Daybreak with Carol Costello keeps you on track. Morning. It moves fast. Keep up. CNN Daybreak. Tomorrow morning, starting at 5 a.m. Eastern.
CNN Sunday, a superstar inspired by real life.
I wanted to be the Cat in the Hat since I was 2 years old.
Mike Myers brings Seuss to the big screen. Plus, Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback. Paul Zahn hosts People in the News. CNN Sunday, 7 Eastern.
For many of us, Thanksgiving is a day to grab a great meal and take a lot of obligatory holiday photographs. You know, the ones that Mom usually insists on taking and going and putting them into the holiday cards. As we've been saying, George Bush's Thanksgiving was a lot like that, except the cameras were bigger. Here's some of what it looked like and how it was received.
Is there anybody back there who's more senior than us?
I think it was really inspiring for the soldiers to see him here today. This is exactly what we needed to do for our soldiers today, and it is just inspiring when you see that kind of leadership stand in front of the soldiers and you get the reaction that we got. They trust their leadership. It's very inspiring today to have him here.
What did you all think when the president walked out behind the curtain there?
Shocked.
Surprise. Pretty nice. Any idea? No clue at all?
No.
I thought it was pretty nice that he came down and spent Thanksgiving with us.
What does it mean to you guys being here to have the president show up?
He's sacrificing a little bit for us too. It's nice.
That's where your mind is on home at this time of year, and think about your loved ones and friends and things like that. And then you have the leader of our country come here to share dinner with us. That's actually very special.
It helps a lot knowing that, the commander-in-chief himself is willing to come out here and make some of the same sacrifice away from his family, away from his home, to show that he's just devoted.
I never seen him so, for the first time, it was a great surprise, and it felt good. It really boosted my morale up, knowing that he was here and started serving with us.
That's a great surprise, and it's what we expect, because he's here with us where he's needed. So he's showing his support. I think it's great for him. I think these soldiers appreciate him showing up. I think that his words ring true. I think they understand what he was saying. They understand why they're here. It's a great day. Today was the day to do it, huh? Yeah, absolutely.
A lot more happening around the world today. Here's a quick roundup. Israel's prime minister appears to be preparing the political ground for giving up settlements in the West Bank and Gaza. It is clear, he said, that we, meaning settlers, will not be in all the places we are right now. Now, by the same token, Prime Minister Sharon said time is running out for a deal with the Palestinians. He raised the possibility he would take certain unilateral steps absent a negotiated settlement. Next to Taipei, where Taiwanese lawmakers raised the stakes in the conflict with mainland China. They voted to give the Taiwanese president the power to call a referendum on independence if China appears ready to invade the island. For its part, China's official media warns that Taiwan is courting disaster. Police in Western England have arrested a man believed to have ties to al-Qaeda. They later found explosives at his house. The man, who is a 24-year-old British subject of Asian origin, was arrested on suspicion of involvement in the commission, preparation, or instigation of acts of terrorism. Authorities are saying little more than that. And Britain's best-known footballer now has OBE at the end of his name. David Beckham paid the Queen a visit today and walked away with an Order of the British Empire. The always fashionable Becks, as he is called, wore a top hat and tails and a posh spice on his arm. Still ahead on Newsnight, the job of saving lives in wartime. We'll look at the newest and best-trained medics in America's arsenal, the 91 Whiskeys. This is Newsnight from New York.
I walked in the footsteps of emperors in Rome. I was lavished with wine and fine food in Malta. I was accustomed to a quick swim at 5. I dined promptly at 8:30. My after-dinner beverage was delivered no later than 9:45. I came to believe I was descended from royalty. Reacclimating myself to this world has been challenging.
Be treated famously aboard a celebrity cruise. Call your travel agent or log on.
CNN Tomorrow, an hour with Tom Cruise.
Penelope and I have no future plans for marriage. I love her.
Only on Larry King Live, CNN Tomorrow, 9 Eastern.
The Sprint's Thanksgiving sale is in full swing. Now is the time to find incredible prices on all your favorite brands. That's because all furniture in the entire store is 40 to 50% off. It's one of our biggest sales of the year. Bedrooms, dining rooms, leather furniture, and more are all on sale. Plus, get 6 months, no interest, no payments. The Sprint's Thanksgiving sale is going on right now. But hurry, it ends this weekend at Sprint's. Imagine the possibilities.
With the $25,000 I won from Tech TV, I'll get 9 cameras clicking, 8 printers printing, 7 phones are ringing, 6 speakers thumping, 5 plasma screens.
With Tech TV's Digital Digs Dash, you could win a $25,000 shopping spree in Circuit City, plus daily cash prizes. For details, watch Tech TV or log on to techtv.com.
And a Partridge Family CD.
Honey, starting a family means getting a new car.
VHIX.com is the easiest way to shop for cars.
Compact? We're talking family.
Right. With online comparisons, features, even safety records.
It's too small.
It's a sedan.
It's too small.
Exactly how big of a car will we need?
So you can find the one car for you and your family.
Minivan.
VHIX.com. Roadmap to the automotive world.
Listen up! Critics call Playmakers powerfully addictive.
I will snap you at the knees.
Incredibly stark and uncompromising. You might not have the will to take your eyes off it.
You cheated!
Searingly unflinching.
It's the best 60 minutes of the year.
Playmakers, the hit series continues. Tuesday, 9 p.m. on ESPN.
Cool Springs Galleria invites you to join Titans playmaker Drew Bennett, 104.5 The Zone, and special Titan guest for autographs and fun each Thursday live from 6 to 7 p.m. in the Oasis Food Court.
CNN, the most trusted name in news.
Finally from us tonight, a big reason why some of the troops made it home this holiday. Home safely in spite of battlefield injuries that not so long ago might have been fatal. The reason is combat medics with a difference. Every war from Korea to Operation Desert Storm has seen general improvement in the training of combat medics, but this war has seen a breakthrough. Civilians might call them super medics. In military lingo, they're 91 Whiskeys. Here's Newsnight's Beth Nissen.
Gas, gas, gas!
At Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas, soldiers drill for a biochem attack, practice how to take care of themselves on the battlefield, and how to take care of others, the wounded, the injured. These are the Army's newest combat medics. Military designation, 91Ws, or 91 Whiskeys.
3, 2, 1.
The most advanced combat medics ever fielded by the U.S. military.
Before, they were trained at very rudimentary levels, basic, putting on bandages, pressure dressings, stopping the bleeding. Now we're teaching them to manage the airway, manage the bleeding, and also be able to do the procedures they need to get that soldier packaged up and evacuated back to the next level of care.
Did you all save some of those bodies?
In 16 intensive weeks of classroom work and practice drills, 91 Whiskey trainees certify as full-fledged EMTs.
How you doing, Army Terry?
They learn how to intubate patients, insert IVs, start medications.
A lot of these young soldiers are going to go right to Iraq. That's why every soldier that we send out has to be pretty much ready to step out the door and do their job day one. Put pressure up here. That's it. That's it.
91 Whiskeys practice on each other. They practice basic nursing care on patients at nearby Brooke Army Medical Center, taking vital signs.
Our BP 149/84.
Doing patient assessments, some on casualties from Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Is that hard at all? It's so much information you gotta keep in your mind. It feels like a year's worth of training and they cram it into like 16 weeks.
Take your time, Paul.
The emphasis is on hands-on training. More critical procedures are practiced on human simulators, computerized mannequins with working lungs, circulation, human skeletal structure.
Did you feel for the fourth rib?
Computers monitor and control the simulator's breathing, pulse rate, bleeding, which change in response to the medic's treatment.
Okay, we got open fractures.
All treatments are recorded by a human controller who reviews how well the trainees managed to do in 10 minutes in the dark.
I would wait for splinting towards the end of treating your patient. Main thing is get your dressing sound, stop the bleeding on your patient.
Has bleeding been controlled?
The simulated injuries are typical of the most serious wounds seen in Iraq. Open fractures, burns, amputations.
Soldiers still die in combat the same ways they always have. We're trying to prevent those causes of death that are preventable, largely bleeding from limbs, controlling bleeding and managing airways and breathing.
And medics have to learn to do that under combat conditions. Exercises are designed to simulate the chaos, the confusion of an active battlefield.
Not feeling a pulse on this patient.
How long are you going to take to do that tourniquet, medic?
Noise levels, stress levels are high.
How long are you going to take? He's dying!
You've got bodies laying all around.
Patient's gone. No pulse.
Some are dead, some are alive. If this person is alive, you got to treat them. You got to do what you can to keep them alive and move to the next person.
If you can't work under pressure, you have people out there who are depending on you, and you're going to let them die.
You can never replicate the real thing, but I think we get them to the point where they have a pretty good idea of what's expected of them.
Nothing does that as effectively as the last phase of training, a week in the field.
Hey, hold up.
91 Whiskeys go on patrol, respond to calls for help.
Black Hawk down! Black Hawk down!
Wasting too much time. Let's go, Soldier Medics. Let's go.
You guys got everybody out?
Let's go.
We have an amputation over here. The soldier has a head wound.
You need to hurry up, Soldier Medic. You need to be a rapid assessment.
Make sure you roll him over. Make sure that he has no injuries on his back.
You are not moving fast enough.
1, 2, 3.
Let's move. Come on.
Don't you drop my casualty, Soldier Medic. You better pick it up.
They try to remember all they've been taught, reassure the patient.
Hang in there. Come on. Come on, stay with me.
Reassess the patient.
Check his airway, breathing, and circulation.
I don't even know how I know it, but I know I do, because I learned it. They said it, and I grasped it, and I'm using it.
So are the 91 Whiskeys already deployed in combat. Anecdotal reports from the field give graduates of the 2-year-old program, plus the forward field hospitals, credit for saving hundreds of lives.
The chances that America's sons and daughters are going to come home alive from these deployments are better now. They're doing a great job out there.
Beth Nissen, CNN, San Antonio.
That's NewsNight for this Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. I'm Carol Lynn, and I'll see you here again tomorrow night. Good night.
What's everyone talking about this holiday season? The Verizon Wireless The Return of the King Text to Win sweepstakes. Because with unlimited family calling anytime minutes, that's right, anytime minutes on the America's Choice National Family Share Plan, your family can talk about it as much as they want. Just text the word WIN to the number 5687 to enter for a chance to win a home theater system. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King in theaters December 17th.
When the stakes are high, the great ones answer the call. Like a November wind, you cut through the the unforgiving wasteland of company data and emerged with numbers that were once untouchable. You have the new Microsoft Office system. It's showtime.
Okay, boys, take your positions. Roger that. Looks like we're taking the scenic route. Okay, back right, you've got some water. I'm on it. Front right, you've got ice. 2 o'clock. Got it. Okay, giant mud patch in 3, 2. Man, I love this job.
The new BMW X5 with xDrive, a revolutionary new all-wheel drive system that watches over you, shifting power where you need it, when you need it.
Hi, Susan. I'm Frank's friend, Steve.
Of course you are.
Nice to meet you.
Come on in. Dinner's almost ready.
Oh, I thought we were going out. I made reservations.
Oh, no. I made lasagna. Oh, don't worry. I used soy cheese because I know that you're lactose intolerant.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gosh. Try this on.
Wow, you made this for me?
Yeah, I learned how to knit online. It's really no big deal. And these. And this. Okay, let's go meet my parents.
Special treatment. Bad idea for blind dates, good idea for online trading. Ameritrade Apex is our premier active trading program. Get special benefits like the latest trading tools, access to exclusive webcasts, and discounts on research products.
Hi, Steve.
Sign up now and get $100 if you qualify for Apex, plus 25 commission-free internet equity trades. Go to Ameritrade.com/Apex/ or call 866-368-4610.
Closed captioning provided by Oryx 8-pound upright vacuum.
Looking for a lightweight vacuum that'll get your house spotless? Try my Oryx XL free for 30 days. Nothing gets by on Oryx.
It was short, sweet, and totally out of the blue. Under a tight cloak of secrecy, President Bush slipped away.